Last week I produced a video comparing a brand spanking new Martin D28 Dreadnought with a 1969 Martin D28 with Brazilian rosewood back and sides. I did it because I was curious. How are they going to compare? I was pleasantly surprised that they both sounded fantastic. I mean, true, the 1969 is definitely a warmer sounding guitar, but it's had over 50 years to open up. But I was surprised at how good the brand new D28 sounded. Yes, definitely a little tighter, a little bit brighter. It will open up over time as well. My question to everybody was, does Martin still build high quality guitars? Well, that video has generated well over 8,000 views as of this morning. Maybe even by tomorrow it'll be 9,000 or 10,000. And it has generated many, many comments, most of them saying they like one sound better than the other, or they like both, they're just different, which is exactly what they are. But I had some people, probably more than a few, comment about Martin's quality, saying, no, it's not as good as it used to be. And they mentioned Martin's binding issue, becoming loose. Well, I just happened to be yesterday to be going to Marty Fair's Fairbuilt Guitars shop. He's the certified Martin repair tech in this part of the world, in Northern Virginia. And I asked him, would you mind if I spoke to you on camera about that issue? And he said, sure. Well, this is what he said.
Starting in the mid-90s come in with binding coming loose, and up until pretty recently, I mean, pretty new guitars, some authentic series stuff, a little bit of everything. I've been fixing binding under their warranty. No complaints from Martin. It's a known issue. They've never questioned it. When somebody's brought in a guitar with loose binding, they pay for it to be fixed. So they acknowledge the problem. And
now, do you think it's a type of glue issue?
Well, I wish I knew I'm gathering rumors and stuff like everybody else. The best explanation I've heard is that they had to abandon a certain glue. They were using glue that was too toxic for the regulations where they are, and so they had to switch to a different glue, which I'm not even sure what the new glue is, but it has the qualities where it doesn't adhere quite as well, and it apparently reacted with celluloid binding, and I guess they use other types of binding too, and made the binding shrink and pull away, and then the fact that it didn't adhere as well made it come loose. So the binding definitely shrinks because it pulls away in the areas where in the waist, and you have to heat it up and stretch it back out to get it to go back into place. I've always got 2 or 3 of them in here at any given time. That one didn't need it, but let's see what year. This one just got re-glued, and it's just a relatively new D18. Dreadnought Centennial. What year was that?
DR Centennial, the guitar I have, so that would have been just before COVID, I think.
20.
I'm trying to remember.
Well, I can just look up the year of the serial number. So, and that chart is over here. 2016. So
9 years.
Yeah, still having problems up until then, at least. I should have kept better track, but I mean, I've been doing this basically for the past 2.5 years, but, you know, half the day, every day, fixing Martin binding.
Now, do you replace it with new binding, or is it just a new type of glue you're using?
Not replacing it generally. Usually when it's, I wonder if I have one where it's pulled away. I probably don't, but usually, you know, it pulls away in the waist area. If there's a cutaway, it's often loose in the cutaway. I'll heat it up a little bit with the heat gun, and it seems to relax and go right back into place. And then I'll glue it with one of several different kind of glues. If it seems like it's under some tension and I had to heat it and stretch it back into place, I'll use super glue, type stuff, cyanoacrylate glue, and it really holds tight. It makes a mess. I got to sand it and buff it, and it makes the process take longer, but I feel like it holds the best. Sometimes when the binding just comes loose and it's loose somewhere, it's not really stretched, it just came loose. I don't know why it came loose. Just the adhesive is not holding, and you can just peel it right off way too easily. So I'll just pull on it until it quits coming off. Sometimes the whole thing comes off. And if that happens, I'll glue it back on with Tight Bond 3, which was recommended at Martin, and it works well. It's water-based. It's easy to clean up, so you can just tape the binding on and take the tape off the next day and just rub on it for a while with a cloth, and it'll be done. That glue has just a little bit of solvent in it, just enough to etch into the synthetic material and bond it to the wood, which is the trick.
And what would be another common repair that you see on Martins? And I know some of the 1970s had bridge issues, but is there anything besides binding that consistently shows up?
Well, it's changed over the years. I mean, when I started in the 90s, the 70s Martins were starting to show up with, needing necks reset and bridges coming loose. A real common one up until 1985, they used to bond the pick guard directly to the raw wood, and then it would shrink and crack the top and peel off, sometimes look like a potato chip. So lots and lots of everything pre-1985 pretty much gets the pick guard removed, and that's another warranty issue they were covering. We would peel off the pick guard with some heat again, seal the bare wood with a few coats of lacquer, and then readhere either that pick guard or a new pick guard with like a double stick membrane to the lacquer, and then they can that addresses that issue, and it won't damage the top any further.
But what still else? A great guitar.
Oh yeah, and a great company in that they own up to stuff that's they acknowledge their mistakes and they pay to fix them, as far as I can tell. So hopefully they've got the binding issue worked out going forward, and I think they're making great guitars now. The new ones, I've got some relatively new ones here, and they're beautiful. They're slow to change, which is frustrating for people, I think, at times, but they've been doing a lot right for a long time, and I think 1985 was a big thing. They sort of reassessed and they made a bunch of changes, and then again around 2012 they kind of looked over everything and brought back some of the vintage features that everybody loves so much, and so the stuff they're making now makes a lot of sense.
So there's still a reason why so many builders, both boutique builders and overseas builders, still build a Martin Dreadnought style guitar.
Oh yeah, I mean, for one thing, that's what many people still want, and that sound they're going for, the look that they love, and I've certainly gotten to appreciate just how nice they are, working on the old ones, and they're just amazing the way they look and the way they sound.
I mentioned in that interview that he built me a custom guitar because he is also a boutique builder, and this is my Fairbuilt barn burner guitar that Marty built for me. It has a Sinker rosewood top and Blackheart sassafras on the back and sides. It's a slope shoulder Dreadnought. It sounds absolutely fantastic. I'll be doing a review on this guitar soon. But in the meantime, I hope his comments have helped you maybe clear up the issue of the binding issue that Martin has had. He said they still build high-quality guitars. He thinks they're a great company. I agree. I've got a dog who loves me and a cat who doesn't care.